right, so I'm going to help you today with a geometric sequence worksheet. These first couple questions say to write the next four terms of the sequence, state whether the sequence is arithmetic or geometric. If it's arithmetic, state the value of m. If it's geometric, state the value of b. So when you first look at some of these ones, you're going to see problems that might do a lot of different things. So you might see one that looks like 5, 10, 15, 20. And I'd look and say, all right, well, what are the next four terms in the sequence? So I look and go, what's it doing every time? It appears to be adding 5. So that would make, if I kept adding 5, my next number would be 25, 30, 35, and 40. There's the next four terms in the sequence. So I did part A, the next four terms. Part B says, state whether the sequence is arithmetic or geometric. Arithmetic adds, geometric multiplies. Since this is adding 5, it's arithmetic. When I look at C, it says, if it's arithmetic, state the value of m. That means what it's adding every time. This is the value of m. So I would either say 5 or plus 5. It doesn't matter. Pause the video right now. Take a few minutes. Oh, wait, let me do one more. I didn't do a geometric. So before you pause, let's look at a geometric. Sorry about that. If I used some of the same numbers here, let me start with 5 again. But this time it went 5, 10, 20, 40. I would look at this pattern and say, all right, well, what's it doing? It looks like it's adding 5, but it doesn't keep adding 5. So it's multiplying by 2 because it keeps doubling. 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40. This is multiplying by 2. So the first thing, write the next four terms in the sequence. So 40 times 2 is 80, times 2 is 160, times 2 is 320, times 2 is 640. Wait, it just said the next four, so I don't need to do the dot, dot, dot. All right, B. State whether it's arithmetic or geometric. If it's multiplying, it's geometric. And C, the value of B is this number right here, the number that you are multiplying by. So then you would say 2 or plus 2. Now pause the video, take a few minutes, and do some of these ones here. Now when you get to this next section, for each sequence, identify B and then answer the question. So in these ones, you are going to see patterns. Let's see, I'll do 20, 10, 5, and 2.5. So I have to look for the pattern that exists here. It does say identify B, so it's letting you know right away that it's geometric. So it says, what is the common ratio? Also letting you know that it's geometric. So I look to see what it's multiplying by every time. This one appears to be dividing by 2. Dividing by 2 means you're taking whatever number you're on and you're dividing it by 2. Or you are multiplying by 1/2. I know Ms. Pilney talked about that in the video that she made in the Ed puzzle. So dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. I always think of it as looking kind of like that. That's what makes me sort of see it. So it says, what is the common ratio? The common ratio is 1/2. If you look at B, it says write the equation. Well, to write the equation, you have to go back a step and find out what the 0 term was. So I have to bring it back here and figure out what that number would have been. So if it keeps cutting it in half, what is the number that 20 is half of? That would have to be a 40. Times 1/2 would give me 20. So if I go to write my equation in that form, and I have A times B to the power of X, I need to plug in these two numbers into that equation. So my equation would be y equals 40 times 1/2 to the power of x. And then it says, what is the 11th term? So if I have to do the 11th term, I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to use it to help me out here a little bit. I don't know how well you can see that at all, can you? There we go. So I'm going to take 1/2 to the power of 11. And you see how I have this e negative 4? That's times 10 to the negative 4. So I have to take that number, 40, and then 4.88 times 10 to the negative 4th, and multiply them. So I 4.88 times 10 to the negative 4th. So now I'll just hit times 40. And that goes out of scientific notation on me, and I just get 0.02. So it would look something like that. You may not see a whole lot of scientific notation in there. I made one up to kind of give you an idea. But finding the 11th term, it's very likely on one like this, you might see that. This one's asking you to go all the way up to the 20th term. So you might see a few that are, when you put in your number for the variable x, you might see some go into scientific notation. So remember, if it's scientific, you're going to see e and then the number after it. That number that you see after e, that is your exponent. And the e is times 10. Okay?